Enoch Mashele has 5 brothers, his parents and 3 children to support. He's the only one in his family with a job. He works 12 hours a day, 7 days a week as a security guard in a rich Johannesburg neighbourhood. Enoch lives in the township of Alexandra, one of the poorest areas of this city.
Life is very rough. There are more than 40 of us sharing one toilet and a tap. The $300 I earn a month is not enough to support me and my family.
That works out to be more than $1.25 a day, which puts Enoch above the extreme poverty line, according to the World Bank. But with all his dependents and the rising cost of living, Enoch can't even afford to feed himself properly. He can't afford public transport either, and every day he has to walk 3 hours to and from work. A World Bank report in 2014 says around half this country's urban population live in townships or so-called informal settlements like this one. The report goes on to say that it's places like this that are home to around 60% of this country's unemployed. Some of the worst violence against foreign migrants, who many locals accuse of taking their jobs, happens in neighbourhoods like these. The government says it will tackle what it describes as the root causes of the problem, including poverty, unemployment and immigration. But analysts say the government has failed so far.
The number of people living in poverty is now about 53% of the total population. The number of people who are unemployed is higher than it was in 1994, at the end of apartheid. The level of protest is increasing. The trend is upwards, whether we're talking about strikes or whether we're talking about community protests. The basic problems are not being addressed by the government, which is becoming increasingly unpopular, out of touch with ordinary people.
Enoch describes how he feels when he walks through the neighbourhood in which he works.
I know people I work for are very rich. It's painful to return every day to my place in Alexandra, but I have no choice. It's a better life than a life of crime.
For Enoch and millions of people like him, a meaningful change in post-apartheid South Africa is yet to come. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.